Some of the walks that I do in this series are quite short. In fact, they're hardly classed as walks, they're more like easy strolls. And this is one of them. We're going to walk up onto Hampsfell. Now that's one of the outlying fells which lies just to the northwest of Grange Over Sands. We've parked up on the road near to the golf course. The road's got a bit of traffic on it, but we don't stay on that road at all because we head up this lane and then onto the footpath that takes us up to the top of the fell itself. And that's where we're going now. Quite a straightforward walk. You just follow the footpath, keeping the small lane and the hedgerow on your right, and there's a small building, it's like a reservoir, which is also on your right. Once you pass that, you head up in a half left direction onto the higher point of the hill. And this is the beacon. Now, we've actually picked the wrong day to come up here. Okay, any day's good for walking, but today, even though it's a bit cold but dry, hardly any wind, it's really hazy. Over here is the estuary of the Kent, and that would look down to Morecambe Bay. And from here, we should be able to see some of the fells to the north, and it's actually quite an extensive range of fells that you can see from here, but not today. I can't see a single fell in the distance, but no matter, good day out. Bailey doesn't mind coming for a walk, and it's here for another day. So we'll head on up to the top of Hampsfell. Well, we have two options now. We either take the left or the right track. Both lead up to the top, so we'll head to the left. And even though today's light is flat and I would say uninspiring, I'm always looking for that simple moment of connection where I find an inspiration for a sketch or a potential painting, or hopefully a good photograph. And you never know what's going to turn up. So walking out on a day like today is not wasted. Bailey gets to walk. I look to explore somewhere new, and in the end I just expand my experience of being out walking. As you approach the top of Hampsfell, you can't help but notice the square building. It looks like something from wartime, but it's not. It's a folly known as Hampsfell Hospice, and it was built in 1846 by the Vicar of Cartmel, the Reverend Thomas Remington. He used to climb up here every day. It's a solid building with the viewing platform on top. Just above the entrance is a Greek quote, and it translates as "rosy-fingered dawn," a quote from Homer. It's worth a look inside, and you're free to go in. Inside on the walls, you'll see notices and poems. It's worth having a read, they're quite amusing. There's also a fireplace, so if you had time you could light a small fire to keep warm. It's worth heading up the narrow, steep steps to the viewing platform at the top. On a good day, not today, the views from here are really good. In fact, you can see Skiddaw, which is at least 31 miles to the north. There's a board attached to the railings which indicates some of the interesting viewpoints that you can see from here. In the middle of the viewing platform there's this pointer. It's called an alidade, and what you do is you line up the numbers, the amount of degrees that matches those numbers on the board, and when you've lined them up you'll be pointing at that reference point. It's not original, it was actually put here later on. And there's also a ground bolt put here by the Ordnance Survey. Well, what a nice location that was. It's one of those tops that is worth coming back to on a better day, nice spring or summer's day when the clarity is much better, so you could see all of the distant fells, and then just wander around, look at the limestone pavement and the wind-blown trees, and then the views down into the valley down towards Cartmel. Definitely a place I'll be coming back to. All we have to do now is head off in this direction, follow the footpath, and we pick up the lane, which we just follow down back to the car. Simple as that. Earlier on I was talking about how I like to come out and just get inspired, and by wandering around and observing what's on the landscape you do come across these little locations that I haven't seen before, and I don't recall anyone posting pictures of or mentioning. But as I've just come off the top from Hampsfell there, and then we found this rather impressive erratic boulder. There's plenty of erratic boulders on limestone pavements, but this one's quite impressive because it's got an indentation on the top and it's quite a size. But also what makes it is that there's a nice bit of light in the sky. So I'll take a couple of photos and see what we come up with. They won't be award winners, but just nice references and reminders of the day. And that's about it for this walk. We just got to walk to the end of this lane, and that's where the car's parked. Admittedly, it's not one of the most exciting walks. You certainly won't break into much of a sweat, but like many of the outlying fells, it's just a pleasure to be out walking and visiting somewhere new. And if the weather's right, which unfortunately wasn't for us today, it'd be a wonderful couple of hours with your boots on, walking the dog. I hope you've enjoyed the film anyway. If you have, don't forget to click the like button on YouTube, and even better, subscribe to my channel, and as new films get posted, you'll be made aware of them. But once again, thanks for watching.